This is probably one of the craziest stories I saw go kind of pretty viral on the internet. The story goes a pretty blonde Olive Garden waitress had had enough of greedy, jerk uh, customers. And so she weaponized the Olive Garden breadsticks against those said people. Now, this is a story that anybody who's worked in food service or, well, serving people in general probably can relate to, but it takes a pretty interesting twist and one that I thought was worth covering because of this kind of brave new world that we're in with, the internet and AI and things of that nature. We have a story that reads, St. Louis, a 26-year-old Olive Garden waitress was arrested Saturday evening after what police described as a, quote, gratuity dispute that got out of control. Witnesses say the waitress had been serving people on date night who ran up a $94 bill with pasta, wine, and appetizers. When they left no tip, she allegedly slammed the receipt onto the table and shouted, "Unlimited breadsticks doesn't mean unlimited free labor." Police say she then grabbed a basket of breadsticks and hurled it at the couple, striking the man in the chest. As staff intervened, she shoved the woman towards the wall and accused them of stealing her wages. She was arrested on charges of assault and disorderly conduct. Now, obviously, this goes two different directions. One, tipping culture is out of control. Two, corporations should have to pay their waiters and waitresses what they're worth. There's this nonsense accepted reality by a lot of Americans that is like, well, I have to tip because this waitress only makes $2.33 an hour. And then these companies say, well, if I had to pay my waiters and waitresses $15 an hour, then you'd have to pay more for your burgers, which is, of course, nonsense because they just have to make a little less money. I mean, right now at McDonald's, a Big Mac meal is like $18 and you don't even tip there. All right. So it is just greedy corporations double dipping. They charge you more for the food. Plus now I have to subsidize your labor costs. For some reason, I don't have to tip the cook, who's far more important in my meal going well than a waitress might be. And obviously, we also know the other side of that, where people are demanding tips and all sorts of stuff for doing almost no work whatsoever. Kiosks where there's not even a human at the kiosk, demanding tips. It's gotten out of control. And tipping culture is something we all agree on. Now, if you have a $100 tab at Olive Garden and you don't tip, you're the a-hole. Like, that's unequivocally the case. Now, this is where the story takes a little bit of a twist. Yes, this mugshot is real, but the entire story is fake and it has ruined this woman's life. Well, has caused her great distress. Wild harassment, people saying heinous stuff about her, and the whole thing is just disgusting. And it's just a sample of what we're going to see in the AI post-truth era that has already started and will continue to get worse over the next 5 or 10 years. A Texas student is opening up about her worst nightmare becoming a reality after a phony social media post claiming she worked for an Olive Garden as an Olive Garden waitress and was arrested after throwing breadsticks at a customer went viral. The dramatic story of the 26-year-old Olive Garden waitress in St. Louis, Missouri, who supposedly hurled a basket of breadsticks at a couple after they stiffed her on a tip and yelled out, "Unlimited breadsticks doesn't mean unlimited free labor," recently took off on social media. While it makes for an incredible story, none of it is real except for the teary-eyed mugshot of a young blonde woman that was shared alongside of it. Megan Ashley Davis, a student at the college station in Texas, said that the backlash she has received for the fake story featuring her real mugshot is ruining her life. It's probably like my worst nightmare coming to reality. People are making very inappropriate comments or AI generated things with my mugshot. Obviously it's a real mugshot. She got it for like public intoxication, something that I can completely understand, especially for a college kid. The Facebook account Pure Videos created the fake post and shared it with its 1.7 million followers. Most of the page's posts are works of complete fiction, according to Cron. It appeared that the post featuring Davis's mugshot had been taken down or made private as of Sunday, while the post did not include Davis's names, and the fake story took place hundreds of miles away. People were still easily able to track her down and harass her. People are disgusting out there, and it's scary, she said. Davis's mugshot stems from a night out of drinking in August, where she was arrested for public intoxication. She is currently a college student who works, and a few weeks before her arrest, her mother passed away, she told Cron. Well, I don't think that really excuses it. I mean, look, you were drunk in public. It's a thing. It happens. I don't, especially for a college-age kid, I don't really think it makes you a bad person. It's not like she was drinking and driving. She was just had a little bit too much and was getting a little spicy. Maybe she freed the beast or something like that. I don't know. I was still very hurt and angry, and I just don't know, Davis said about the night of her arrest. I guess at a time like that, I thought it was okay, and I started drinking whatever, went to jail, and it was really embarrassing. Again, so what? Though the original post appeared to have now been taken down, now copies of it are springing up all over the country with countless Indian and Pakistani bot-run Facebook and X accounts. The post has only been fact-checked on X, but not Facebook. This is what I'm talking about. We live in a post-truth era, and with monetization on X and Facebook pouring gasoline on just about every conceivable story that is sensational, there is no incentive to tell the truth. What I have said multiple times is on X, if your account is community noted for lying, it should lose monetization after 3 strikes. Now, unfortunately, the X community note system is completely ideologically captured and is of no value currently in most cases. I would say that if you're an account that has monetization and you are not punished for sharing knowingly fake stories, that you have no incentive to tell the truth. And you might say, well, they just saw it and they ripped it off another account. Tough cookies. You're supposed to do your own independent fact checking before you smear somebody and defame them. It's still there, and more content is being created and more things being said. I just feel overlooked and unseen and unheard, she said. Well, that's why I'm making this video. Now, it won't be as popular as a pretty girl mugshot and tossing Olive Garden breadsticks, but I thought this was a more important tale to talk about the truth of what the future of AI looks like. This is not so much AI as it's just garbage Pakistani and Indian clickbait accounts, sharing fake news for money. But with AI, it's going to get even worse. Earlier this year in April, Meta, which owns Facebook, stopped using third-party fact-checking in the United States, meaning Facebook stopped penalizing fake news. Ever since, similar rage bait posts with fake stories have been spread across the platform like wildfire. Well, that's simply not true. The fake news and rage bait has always existed, and it didn't get worse or better with the banning. It's always been bad. Facebook is particularly bad and always has been. Meanwhile, Olive Garden even attempted to step in, commenting on the phony post that Davis isn't even employed by them, according to Cron. This person does not work for Olive Garden, and the incident described never occurred. The page that originally shared this false story has posted similar hoaxes involving multiple brands, the restaurant chain wrote, though other commentators quickly urged them to, quote, prove it. Right, because they're just asking questions. They have to prove it, this and the other thing. People are so conspiracy-brained, and we are such in a post-truth era that it's almost impossible for the truth to make it out. Like, it is literally almost impossible for true stories to rise to the top. It is shocking how many people believe. I mean, there's some percentage of people that believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Like, that's a real statistic. Hold on a second. Percentage of people, chocolate milk, brown cows. 7% of the population, 17.3 million people believe that brown cows produce chocolate milk. And this isn't even, this isn't even something that is fake news. This is just people being stupid. But like, they're the same people who are going on X and saying, we're just asking questions and you have to believe us and this, that, and the other thing. It's not immediately clear when or why the post that included Davis's mugshot was taken down. Well, because they probably didn't want, because they were getting, actual blowback, and people, they were probably afraid of being demonetized. If you were to put just a location flag on most of these slop accounts, you would find that most of them are in India or Pakistan or Malaysia or whatever the case may be, and far fewer people would be willing to believe it. Now, the key to this is to write a story that makes sense, but that could be true, but doesn't have to be true, because these people are financially incentivized to literally make stuff up. The mugshot is real. Pretty girl mugshots. I mean, there are entire accounts created to good-looking mugshots. I believe it's called Mugshotties, I think it's called. But they are now probably just trolling that account and attaching pretty people's mugshots to complete fabricated stories. A TikTok video discussing the fallout, Davis has said she's seen AI-generated content on X in which her mugshot has been turned into explicit videos, all this kind of stuff. And I believe that X and Facebook have a duty to be able to develop the technology to not only detect, but to label AI-generated content and fake news, lest they should be open to lawsuits. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Are we in a post-truth era? Is there any hope saving it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.